Okay.
Buffering.
I was like,
And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 27 of the Sling'N podcast. I'm TJ.
And I'm Kent. And you forgot how many episodes we've had.
I did. I actually had to look at our description to remind myself. Yeah. I almost had to take off my damn shoes. But folks, thank you for joining us this lovely Tuesday evening from inside the quarantine zone. So tonight we wanted to talk about something that is not a new concept. We also wanted to talk about, or at least send a message out to all the new gun owners as well. But before we jump into the meat and potatoes of tonight's show, Kent, what's going on new with you, brother?
Well, if you're a personal Facebook friend of mine, you've been reading my pandemic updates. If you have not been reading my pandemic updates, there was a silent election yesterday, and I was elected the new warlord of Lisbon, Pennsylvania. I promise that my rule will be swift and my decision's fair. But, yeah, I'm in charge, motherfucker, because I got the guns and the ammo and the gasoline and shit. So, sorry, yuppies, don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, Kent is also a part-time comedian. And now, seriously, though, if you're not friends with him on Facebook and you're not catching these inside the quarantine updates, these daily blogs that he's been writing, they're pretty hysterical. So we are already getting questions in the chat. Who is the vice warlord?
Oh, that would be James, the littlest tower.
The baby, yes.
He's 5 months old. He's currently being fitted for spiky shoulder pads and a Viking helmet.
I mean, well, of course.
Mad Max, right?
Yeah. 2 men enter, 1 man leave. So, but yeah, so let's cover the easy part first, and let's get this out of the way. I also feel like this is just a little bit more important, and that is really dealing with all of the brand new gun owners out there who have decided to start panic buying, along with toilet paper. They realize that firearms and ammunition might be a good thing to help keep them safe. I think this is especially important because, and I hate to be the one to say I told you so, but there have been a series of law enforcement agencies that have actually been putting out press releases on various social media platforms and even mainstream media platforms, pretty much stating that they're not going to be out in force to enforce, theft, robbery. Pretty much if it's not a super serious crime, of course, seriousness is, it's kind of a subjective term, but yeah, you're pretty much on your own, folks. So I applaud those of you that have been on the fence, that have made the decision to go buy your first gun, if it is. But with that, there's some things that you need to think of. So, Kent, what are some things that we need to parlay to the new gun owners of America?
First of all, welcome. Glad you've decided to come around to our side. Not like we've been saying we told you so, but we kind of told you so. Look, here's the thing. Find and by no means are we the only or anywhere close to the only reputable source of information, but find one. Find a reputable source of information and education. Please, God. This is a gun that you just brought home. It is not a fucking puppy. You cannot give it back to the shelter when it doesn't work for you. Sorry. So if you're a new gun owner, you just went through all the hassle and paperwork and legal loopholes and stuff that you got to jump through, welcome to the club. We've all been there. We've all done it. Now, take a real deep cleansing breath, get all the COVID out of your lungs, and think for a minute.
Easier said than done in many cases, but
in many cases. Think for a minute and get some good information. What I don't want y'all to do is go stuff that shotgun that Joe Biden told you to buy through a buckshot and just wait for the neighbor's cat to make a noise on your garbage can lid so you blast a bunch of rounds through some drywall. Probably not a good idea. So if you're in a mental state where you're so scared that this was the time that you had to buy a gun, you're probably not in a great mental state to be making all kinds of individual choices, and you should do some quick learning before you start to fuck with that thing, because it can hurt you, as it turns out.
And I think if they're going to start anywhere, I think they need to start with not only their local, but state and federal laws on self-defense.
Yes.
There are several good resources out there. I forget the name of the book specifically. I want to say it's The Laws of Self-Defense.
By Andrew Branca.
Yes, Andrew Branca. He's an attorney. fantastic book. Also, Masad Ayub, who is a very well-respected expert when it comes to self-defense situations and scenarios, often called as an expert witness in self-defense shootings. These guys have both written some very easy to read but very detailed books at the same time. That, at least for me, and I'm fairly sure I speak for Kent on this as well, that have served as a true point of authority on the subject matter. Because contrary to what the wannabe commander in chief said, Mr. Biden, and he can't remember this message, was you really can't just pump a couple of rounds into the air or through your door when you can't see the target. So do the research for yourself and find out what is legal and not legal. And that what you might feel is a justified situation where you can use deadly force might put your ass in the slammer faster than you can blink.
Yeah.
So with that, so laws, okay, we got that, check. Of course, this is going to sound really stupid, but read the manufacturer's instruction manual to know how to properly disassemble, reassemble, and clean and lubricate that firearm. Of course, there are a lot of excellent safety tips in that literature that comes with your firearm. And if you don't know, you can easily find those PDF documents online to read through that. So if you might say maybe you bought a used gun, didn't come with that information, online is a powerful resource. It's better than just cat videos and watching amazing podcasts with two of the most handsome podcast hosts on the planet. But you can also find several pieces of documentation and literature that'll help educate you about the piece of equipment that is your new firearm.
Yeah. Also, I don't normally do this, but 223-322-0584 is my business cell phone number, and my business email is kent@greenmountaindefense.com. If you really, truly are sitting there going, WTF, how do I do this? How do I do that? What do I do with this? What do I do with that? Before you put a round through the golden retriever, call me. We will try to help you. I don't want to see anybody get hurt here. Now, at the same time, this isn't all doom and gloom. You've kind of like popped your man or woman cherry, and you're now like part of the awesomest group ever. So let's get you out to the range and have some fun with that thing. Take a class. Go with somebody who's experienced that you trust. Someone who's experienced that you trust.
Yes.
Not your Uncle Larry who almost burned his nuts off at the 4th of July barbecue last year.
I mean, he got that bottle rocket across the yard, bro. I don't care what you say. But no, that's a fantastic point. And as much as I hate to say this, oftentimes the guy or girl behind the counter at the gun store is not often an expert on many things, nor is the person that they might refer you to. Something you might be surprised to hear, but there's a lot of kind of good old boy network that goes on at local gun shops. And a prime example, I think probably the biggest example of this is with gunsmithing services. If that particular store does not have a gunsmith on staff tinkering away in the back with all the certifications, chances are the person that they would refer you to is a shade tree gunsmith. And while some of those guys are really worth their salt and know a thing or two about firearms, I'd be hesitant and questioning how valid they are and how good their services are. So when in doubt, of course, you can always check there first, but Kent just gave you his number. Give him a call. You can also email the podcast, slingandleadpodcast@gmail.com. Kent and I both monitor that, and we'll be happy to point you in the right direction.
Yeah. Here's the thing about all this. If you're so frightened that you're like, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this. I helped a gentleman via remote phone call yesterday whose hands were shaking. Like he was petrified of what he had just bought. And his fucking buddy loaded it for him and put it in the dresser drawer and said, "There, man, you're all set," and left.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? Homeboy knew he had he was like, is it just going to go off or what's it? He said he had a grenade in his dresser drawer, for Christ's sakes. What he really had was a Glock 19. Pretty easy to help him figure out how to operate the thing. But we got on a Skype phone call. We did a digital session and we got him squared away. It took all of 26 minutes. Not that hard.
Yeah.
Is he a root and tootin' gun expert now? No, but he knows how to unload the thing and clean it, and how to point it in a safe direction and how to grip it and some basics, which is a lot better than he would have been doing before we got to him.
So I do want to pause there real quick just to put a call out to anybody that might be stumbling across this podcast in the future. If you are among the population that is a first-time gun owner, I'm curious what you bought. Throw a comment here, send us a message. I'm really curious as to know what it was that you purchased and what took you down that path. Man or woman, I don't care. I'd love to hear from both genders. And
man or woman, as long as you're attractive.
I mean, you can't see them.
Oh, you don't.
Okay, so please post a headshot portfolio profile to the email so Kent can triage your attractiveness. But with that, we're so shallow, and
because Lord knows I'm qualified to do such things.
Yeah, absolutely. But with that, I'm really curious what you all bought out there. Whatever it might be, really curious. Also, really curious as to know why you made the decision that you did. One of the biggest challenges that new gun owners face, especially if they do not have a group of friends that is, pro gun or as into the firearms community as guys like Kent and myself and our friends. It's overwhelming, right? You go into a gun store, you say, hey, I want something at 9mm. Okay, well, I hope you brought a lunch because you're going to be here a while. So with that, just let us know what you bought and why. I'm really curious to hear it. And of course, if you've got questions, again, I want to reiterate that. Don't hesitate to ask. That's why we put that email out there. So please reach out and use it. Let's see. Another thing that I want to point out, if you are a new firearm owner and you have children, one of the few things that I think that the NRA has done a fantastic job with is their Eddie Eagle program. You not only need to have your children participate in watching this information. It's very, it's Eddie the Eagle. He's a cartoon character. They've got comic books for it. And it teaches children all about gun safety and responsible actions to take when they do come across a gun. I encourage you to, as an adult, to watch that as well, because it will help you bridge that communication or form that bridge of communication to your child in an effective and safe manner. So I know that was one of the first things that I went through with my children, when they're going to actually, my daughter's getting to be about that age where I need to have that talk with her about, if you come across a gun, this is what you do. But sure enough, I reiterated the points from that program to my son, even at the age of 5. And within a few short weeks or months, while I would never do it, I was confident that if I ever left a firearm in an area that he would have found it, he would not have touched it, and he would have come and got either his mother or I. So it's a great program. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah. Project Kid Safe is another good place to go for child-friendly firearms information. One of the big things that Project Kid Safe does is provides gun locks. So if for some reason you bought a used gun from some guy on the internet in the back of a trunk and had it, I'm sorry, it turns out there is no gun show loophole, and y'all just learned that. But for whatever reason, if you got a gun and you didn't get a lock with it, Project Child Safe can help you with that as well.
Absolutely. So we are getting a question from the chat from Anthony. He is asking, how do you start talking about gun safety with children?
How old do you start?
Oh, how old do you start? Honestly, Anthony, that's gonna depend on the child. With my son, I went kind of based off of his maturity level to actually listen and pay attention and follow my instructions. So it's going to depend. We actually get that question quite often in various forms. How old to start talking to them about it? How old to take them to the range? And while it sounds like a cop-out answer, the reality of the situation is it's going to vary and be on a case-by-case basis. So be the responsible parent and take the time to really assess your child and make sure that they're going to be capable of understanding what it is you are trying to tell them. In the meantime, you need to take extra care to make sure that those firearms are locked up or put away safely to where they can't get to them, reach them, find them, stumble across them, whatever the case might be.
Answering questions via the written chat. So Corey says, because of the industry that we're in and what we do you believe a 22 should be looked at as a concealed carry weapon like the others? My first answer to him was it should be looked at with the same severity. But as far as like, is a 22 a viable concealed carry option? Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that's what you got, that's what you got. I'm looking right now for a Smith & Wesson 43C, one of those little J-frame Smith & Wesson 22s that weighs like nothing.
Yeah.
Because, the beach.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's,
why not?
And I actually learned this a long time ago when I was working in a gun shop. I was a bit of a gun snob and arrogant in my youth. And I would look at guns like High Point and Jimenez and all these really, really cheap, inexpensive firearms. And no, cheap's a good word for it. I would look at all these cheap guns and I'd be like, oh God, why would anybody ever want to buy these pieces of crap? And I actually brought that question to my manager. I was like, hey dude, like we carry like $3,000 1911s and we've got all this other stock of like Beretta, Glock, SIG, H&K, all, you name it, right? We had it. And he put it quite plainly to me, because there are some people out there that can't afford, a $400 used or a $500 new Glock or Beretta or the guns that we all consider and know to be reliable. And if this is what that person can afford and take it home and actually have the means to defend themselves and their family, then by all means, then that's what they're going to get. And the same thing I think would bode true for any of the calibers, right? 22, 25, 32, all these calibers that other people consider to be anemic and arguably useless in a quote unquote gunfight. Yeah. The reality of the situation is if that's what you got, that's what you got. It's better. I'd rather have that than a rock,
Right.
So.
Yeah. Also, so interestingly enough, I have a repetitive student who he trains with me about weekly, and he just bought a Glock 44, the new 22 LR Glock.
Yeah.
And I can do some scary shit with that gun because it doesn't recoil.
Oh yeah, it's kind of weird. Oh, it also is it not recoiling because they all break?
Nah, this one hasn't broken yet. But no, man. I mean, you can run the test from the holster with that thing in like 273, because it's just like
it's like one of those CO2 powered.
Yeah.
You just all it does is just move the slide back and forth.
Barely, but
it's the simulation of recoil, folks.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. In 273 from a draw, there's like 10 rounds in that size of a circle.
Right.
And they're moving quick. So yeah. I mean, I'll put on my gun store FUD hat. Ready? I ain't volunteering to stand in front of it.
Yeah, God. Would you like to get shot with? Oh, Jesus. Well, if I have to choose between that and a 12 gauge.
Yeah. So Corey then followed up. He just mentioned, like, would you try to persuade somebody into a higher caliber? Yeah, of course.
It depends, man.
So if you read what I wrote, my mom runs a 22.
Right.
That's what she can work with.
Right.
If the looters kick in her door right now, they're going to get 10 rounds out of a Ruger SR22.
Yeah. Now
she's going to hit them.
Yeah. I look at it on physical capability, right?
Exactly.
So you've met my mom. My mom, her biggest problem is her. I see what you did there. Dick. But her biggest issue is hand and wrist strength. Arthritis in the joints and whatnot are starting to set in. And she's even had surgery from carpal tunnel, from spending so many years behind a keyboard. I'm pretty sure I'm not too far behind her. But being able to manipulate and operate the firearm is a real challenge. Mm-hmm. So you have these different firearms like the Smith & Wesson M&P EZ that's just come out recently. But hey, if you are in a physical incapability of manipulating and managing and shooting that firearm, okay, fair. But if you're physically capable, yeah, I'll try to upsell you like, hey man, listen, or hey ma'am, listen, we're not going to discriminate here. Young ladies, don't just fall for the dumb bullshit behind or with the guy in the tactical fishing vest behind the gun counter that wants to sell you a pink-handled 22 revolver. I guarantee you can probably handle a 9mm.
Yeah. I would tell you that 98% of the people walking planet Earth can handle a 9mm just fine.
Yeah, generally.
There are people that,
Now, the vast majority of them, let's be serious.
Yeah.
NATO military units have been issuing 9mm as the standard caliber across the board. And you take all these other militaries from the United Nations, Australia, Great Britain, you name it, Russia, Italy, they all issue 9mm. All of those people, regardless of size, shape, body type, whatever have you, they can handle those 9mm pretty well. So again, I think it just comes down to physical capability of the human being. So
Tim from Apache Solutions brought up the reliability factor with a rimfire, and he's got a great point because I want it to actually go bang. And if you don't know, dirty, cheap, bulk, old 22 ammo that's been in your grandpappy's basement since 1973 may not, in fact, operate correctly. So, as with any other firearm, make sure the damn thing works with what you're going to shoot out of it.
Yeah, well, if you're going to carry it for self-defense, you should treat it like any other gun you would carry for self-defense. Exactly. You might go to the range and plink with 115 grain ball ammo, but when it comes time to have what we call social interactions, you might want to make sure you're running some premium, maybe even law enforcement grade, hollow point, expensive stuff, not just for the stopping capabilities or the ballistics and terminal wound capabilities. We'll get into that in another show, but ultimately the reliability. I've struck primers on plenty of full metal jacket rounds and bulk packages and had plenty of failures in my life. And the ammo's been bad too. But no, I can tell you, I've actually never had that problem with premium hollow point ammunition.
Well, yeah, premium being the
premium being the operative word there.
Operative word.
Like when you realize you have to go to the range and shoot it to see how your gun's going to function with it, you're like, do I really have to? It's so pricey. Yeah, it's nah. But it is what it is. So, but no, great point, Tim. Thank you for that point of order.
Let's see. Other general new gun owner shit. PID, positive identification.
Oh, yeah.
NRA's 4 firearm safety rules. That's one of them. Know your target and what is beyond your target. The operative part of that being know your target. Your kids are all home from school right now. Your wife's home. Your girlfriend hasn't been over in a while. You don't know who's right. You don't know who necessarily might be in your hallway. Let's not just go pointing shotguns at everybody who makes noise in your house, okay?
Yeah.
Let's positively identify that. And a weapon-mounted light is a great way to do that.
Or a handheld light, so you don't realize that there's a flash or a gun attached to your flashlight.
Right.
Handheld lights work beautifully. Often you can even get them at a higher power. So you get a blinding effect that works, sadly, both ways, so be cognizant of that. But yeah, if you're going to carry a gun, carry a flashlight. Yeah, it's that simple. PID your targets and what's going on.
Let's see. What else?
Medical training.
Hey, look at that. Yeah. Use coupon code. Actually, don't use coupon code BB15 because Carrie's running a 20%. Carrie is running a 20% off sale right now on his website. So go to darkangelmedical.com and Carrie's giving people 20% off the whole place right now.
Yeah, so, but even though they're not using the discount code, please still mention Sling'N podcast in the comments so that Carrie knows that we're showing him some love over here.
All right.
Yeah, Carrie Davis of Dark Angel Medical is a friend of the show, and we have had him on the podcast before. I invite you all to go check out that video. It was a great discussion. But yeah, if you're going to start carrying a gun, you should probably consider carrying medical equipment if you weren't already. We've said it on the podcast before. Kent's got a whole ankle medical kit right here that he's showing for you guys. He carries it with him everywhere, right? So you are more likely to need to respond to an incident with medical support than you are with fire superiority. So
yeah,
especially with everything going on right now, when you got people getting punched in the face over a roll of toilet paper. I don't need you to come shoot grandma who just punched me in the face, but I would like a bandage for my nose. So,
yeah. Turns out tourniquets.
Hey, I got that toilet paper, by the way.
I do too. Tourniquets are a great cure for COVID-19. You just wrap it around the person's neck and turn the windlass until they stop having breathing problems.
Well, they won't cough on you.
Don't do that. Don't ever do that. So darkangelmedical.com has some great medical information and products. Also, Caleb Causey of Lone Star Medics and Skinny Medic all have great YouTube channels with a ton of valuable medical information. Go take a Stop the Bleed class, probably after the pandemic. Go get some first aid, some CPR. Medical's good stuff.
All right, so we are getting a question from the chat again. How much stuff do you carry when you are carrying?
All right, Tony, I'll do it. Here.
Although I do think we should do a video. We should each do like a video. I take that as a challenge. Neither of us have done an EDC pocket thump video yet.
Right. So ankle med kit. It's on screen.
Well, go ahead and real quick go through the list of things you got in there.
Tourniquet, chest seals, compression gauze, nitrile gloves, and a chest decompression needle. So that's the med kit. Benchmade Adamas because, it's
Thug life.
Yeah, right. Thug life. Streamlight Protec HLX. Flashlight, super bright. I won't fuck up the camera by hitting the light. With a theorem switchback. Spare mag. Stock full of shit. What else? Oh, phone. Nobody cares about the phone. And for safety's sake, I suppose, Glock 34 Gen 5. Clear for the internet.
Yeah, so my loadout is actually quite similar. I, too, even carry a Glock 34. Same weapon light. The one main difference between Kent's EDC and mine, I keep medical equipment in my vehicles. I am also usually juggling like two children and stuff. I have medical equipment like everywhere. I've got it in my range bag. I've got it in my laptop bag for when I'm going to and from work. I've got a set in my car. It's all over the place. But spare mag, I do like my Tier 1 concealed Axis Slim holster. I invite you all to go check those out. And we'll cover equipment here in a second, but also the Filster floodlight. So as far as holsters go. Yep, there's the Filster floodlight right there. For those listening on the podcast, Filster.com, PHLSTER.com. You can go over and check that out. The model is called the Floodlight. Essentially, it's a quote-unquote universal holster that will pretty much fit anything as long as it's got a particular weapon light mounted to it. So pretty awesome design there. So with equipment, all right, so as far not just the EDC stuff, or the hardware, we should say, but the support equipment, right? What else should new gun owners be considering about carrying?
Oh, batteries for the flashlight, extra rounds for the gun, comms. Let's see. What else? By
the way, the flea market special belt that you got with your last name embroidered on the back of it.
Yeah.
Is probably not going to suffice.
No good.
I personally like Core Essentials, their belts. They're pretty slick. These are the ones that have like the ratcheting buckle that you kind of cut to your size. I think they come at full length 55 inches. So you essentially just trim it down to what your waist size is. Make sure you adjust accordingly to whatever holster you choose, and you're ready to go.
Or if you're pudgy like me, you can ratchet two of them 55 inches together. And
you are not that bad.
Wear a tarp. Let's see. Tim asks about tourniquet quality. So Cat Gen 7 and not SWAT T, soft T, wide.
In short, the short answer is, folks, TCCC. That's another acronym that you guys are going to hear as new gun owners. I'm not the medical expert, so I can never remember exactly what that acronym stands for. But TCCC. If you go check out their standards, they typically have the recommended hardware for stuff like tourniquets and whatnot. If you listen to the gun industry in and of itself, you're going to get a lot of back and forth on certain things that seem to be a good idea. Now they're not such a good idea. I'm
starting to question which S tourniquet I said. So to be clear, SWAT T, SWATT, not soft T, which is a piece of shit. The SWAT T. I don't know which S I said. So
no, you you just corrected yourself. So
all right.
Good catch there, buddy.
He also mentions like where do you get them? Amazon ? Here's the thing. There's a lot of fake shit out there, especially on Amazon.
Amazon and eBay, horrible places. Go to reputable places like Dark Angel Medical, North American Rescue. I even think Skinny Medic has his own website now.
Yeah.
So go to places where you have known people, respected individuals in the industry that are selling you this stuff.
If Carrie Davis or Caleb Causey or Skinny Medic or whoever is selling it for 10% more than what you can get it on Amazon for, go buy it from those dudes because you're going to be 100% certain it's legit. And I just can't say that about the Amazon shit. Now, if you're going to buy a trainer, like a blue trainer, like a blue gun, like a blue tourniquet, I don't give a fuck if it's off Amazon or Wish or wherever, as long as it operates the same. Yeah. But there are definite fakes, so be careful for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, outstanding, man. Let's see. Is there anything else? I guess I'm having a hard time thinking of anything else. I think that really about covers it. So for those of you that, again, might be new to the podcast or even new to the gun industry, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. Go check out some of the other shows that we've done. We've covered a lot of the topics that would be interesting to those of you that are new to the industry, and I think you'll find them helpful. And once again, I just want to reiterate, slingandleadpodcast@gmail.com is an email that you can reach us at. Also, you can hit us up on our individual Instagram and Facebook accounts. As you can see from the banner down below, I am the Lead Sling'N Ginger. It's the same on Facebook, my own YouTube channel, and Instagram. Kent is Green Mountain Defense, and you can find him under that same name in all those social media outlets as well. So, buddy, with that, you are venturing into a new service offering.
I am.
With Green Mountain Defense. So why don't you go ahead and take the mic and educate us all on what you got going on?
Well, I started to see a lot of yoga studios during this whole COVID pandemic thing offering yoga classes digitally, right? So they're in front of a camera, you're in front of a web camera, you're sweating, you're fat, they're sweating, they're not fat, and you pay them money, right? Why can't we do the same thing with gun class? So here's a scoop. If you need a tune-up in dry fire, if you need help figuring out how to load, unload, clear, safety check, clean, maintenance your gun, if you need individual firearm home safety consulting, essentially, if you need the first half an hour to 45 minutes of what is my typical 16-hour POI, like you need the safety talk, you need the safety brief, you need the how to maintenance and work on and do whatever else like that, I'm offering it to you, and I'm doing it for $20 for a half an hour. So it can be individually tailored to you as the student. We could talk offline and off the clock about your needs and what you'd like to go over. And we can, run what you brung, so to speak. It's an opportunity for yourself, your spouse, whoever else is in your life to all be part of it and to hear the same information. We would ask that no live ammunition be involved because we don't need any desk pops or anything like that. But I mean, this last poor guy I just dealt with literally brought this gun out to his kitchen table, shaking like a leaf. He was dead afraid of it. So I went and got something out of my safe that was a close match to what he had, and I showed him how to manipulate it safely and correctly, and he felt a lot better after a half hour. So if you're cooped up in the house and COVID-19's got you down, and if you're bummed out about the world, I'll give you a hand and I'll give you help. And quite honestly, if the $20 is the difference between you doing this or not, I don't care. Just hit me up. We'll help you. Like, I really don't want to see somebody get hurt. So, and yes, Tony, available in all 50 states, any state resident. If you are legally able to own the firearm that you possess and you are not some sort of a felon or otherwise prohibited person, which is on you, I will send you a waiver just the same as you sign with me in person. You will electronically agree to it. And, that's on you. So if you're a felon or ISIS or something, I can't really control that. But yeah, all 50 state. To be entirely clear, this is not a CCW class. This is not a permit class. This does not allow you to go to a local municipality and get a permit, anything like that. I am not equipped to do such a thing remotely at this time. I don't know if I would do such a thing remotely, to be quite frank with you. But to help gun owners in a time like this, I absolutely will do it. And moving forward, to help intermediate to moderate level firearm students who need help putting together a dry fire routine or practice session that they can do in their own home, I can help with that too. This is an idea that I've gotten from MSP and Tim Herron Shooting, and trying to think of who else.
Scott does it too.
MSP, Scott.
Yeah.
Tim Herron does it. Scott does it. I think Spencer Keepers does it sometimes. I'm not putting myself on their level. I'm not one of those dudes, but I can certainly help you. Tim, I know you're out in the chat. You're not copying off anybody or whatever, bro. Do this. If you have the opportunity or ability to do it, you should be out doing it. Because if we're all cooped up in our house and we can't do nothing and can't help nobody, we're kind of worthless. So might as well do this and give back a little bit. And I'm going to keep it out there and keep it available. So if people ever need this or ever need consulting in general, I can do it. Yeah, man. See, he said the same thing. He said it's been on his mind. I mean, this platform, this stream service that we're using right now is the perfect. All somebody needs is a camera or a smartphone. There's a couple of these services that you can use. You just need to be able to get the digital waiver thing done through like a DocuSign type platform, that kind of thing. I mean, not to make the oldest joke in the century, but $20 is $20, right? I'm a business owner. Like, we need to do everything we can right now to try to keep the economy rolling. And I'm in a position to help people. And so Tim would be great at this. Tim would be awesome. And, he could offer just the same type of service. So,
yeah,
to be entirely clear, it's private. It's individual one-on-one stuff. You're not paying me $20 to be in a chat room with 50 other people. It's just you and me, whoever you are. Yeah, see, Tony's talking about Zoom. We've got Jitsi, we've got StreamYard, we got Skype. We've got
FaceTime, if you both have iPhones,
Yeah.
There's a million ways to do this. And folks, I can't stress enough for any of you that might even be kind of on the fence or wishy-washy about this, or maybe the naysayers in the population. If I can go to school online and get a legitimate Bachelor's of Science degree in information system security from a nationally and regionally accredited college, there is no reason that we cannot leverage the technology and the capabilities that we have at our disposal to get you a little bit more familiar with the fundamentals of working with and manipulating your firearm safely. And like Ken even said, and he's a little bit modest, folks, if you can't tell, but I've shot with the man. He is on the level with all those guys. Might not beat him in a competition, but damn it, I'd take you to a foxhole and firefight any day, man. And
what are you going to do to my foxhole?
And no, the foxhole is not that club that you told me about in downtown PA. But yeah, man, he's a good shooter. He knows his shit, folks. Don't let his modesty fool you. He's a good instructor. So here, I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret test that I have for firearms instructors. I do not gauge necessarily a firearms instructor with how good they treat me. I gauge a firearms instructor on whether or not I would feel comfortable sending my spouse or my children or other loved ones and friends and family to go train with. Kent passes that with flying colors. It's that simple.
Thanks, man.
So now stop crying. Let's move on.
Yeah, I know.
But no, it's just that simple, folks. Like, you guys, when you are researching, I know we've talked about this before, but while we're kind of in between the two topics here, but when it comes to firearms education and training, leverage what resources you can to get the training that you can. So like the remote or one-on-one, web chat training session with Green Mountain Defense. When you do come to the point where you are able to venture out past the quarantine zone, into the land of the destitute, and actually go have interaction with human people in person, do your homework on firearms instructors themselves. There are a lot of after-action reviews out there, or a lot of reviews, Yelp reviews, AARs is what we call them, on all these different gun schools and whatnot. And do your homework and make sure that you're going to one that's going to be a good fit for you. And I don't want to beat the dead horse on this too much because we've covered it in other videos and other broadcasts. But yeah, do that homework. But Kent, he's all right in my book. I'd recommend him hands down at any time. And I'm not just saying that because we're best buddies. So
yeah, man. Oh, Tim's saying the same thing over there. And likewise, so I don't know if the people like if y'all
Jesus Christ, man. No, hold on. Scott Jedlinski himself recognizes you. He's getting all misty. He's getting the vapor, folks.
I'm not worthy. Don't do that. But no, seriously, we all want to help each other. So like I'm over here in the chat telling Tim from Apache Solutions down in North Carolina that I will help him compete with me on the internet and sell these classes too. Like we more than money and profit and whatever else that we might get out of this, we want to help people because we can make a shitload more money doing something else. So we need to be as adaptable to our current situation as we possibly can be. So, I mean, look, I want you to go get this wherever you can get it. And the other thing is if you happen to hit me up and you're in like some place that's not near me, so we do a digital session, I'll help you find training local to you that's worth a shit. We have enough connections amongst each other. We can reach out to our friends and colleagues and stuff. Wherever you are, there's somebody like myself or Tim or Scott or Spencer. I'm not going to list everybody, but Jesus Christ, there's somebody worth a shit somewhere within 20 minutes to an hour of you. Mm-hmm. So after we get on the digital thing and I help you make sure you don't fucking put around in your foot, the next step is we'll go to the network and we'll find somebody who we can really trust. And then we'll get you out on the range live fire and make sure it goes well. And, that's the way we have to approach this.
No, we've got to shout out real quick. So for the ladies that might be listening, maybe they don't want to go train with a dude. Maybe they want to train with a woman firearms instructor. They're not unicorns. They do exist. A personal favorite of ours is Tatiana Whitlock. Mm-hmm. She is also part of a network of female firearms trainers that does a fantastic job at all levels of skill. And we would certainly be remiss if we did not mention her. We've had her on the podcast as well, and she was an absolute delight to have. Super professional, just an outstanding person all around, and we wouldn't be recommending her if she wasn't worth it. So Tatiana Whitlock, she's also on your various social media platforms and a frequent contributor to the CCR podcast, if I remember correctly.
She's a host now, actually, over there.
Ah, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, there you go. We got it all covered right there. So let's see. What else? We got a little bit of time left, Kent. I do think that this is a perfect opportunity to give a shout out to Right On Optics. Mm-hmm. Kent and I are both pro staff members of Right On Optics, and we highly recommend everything that they have to offer. They, of course, got their pistol red dot that's out. They've got several red dot optics for rifles and carbines. They've got long-range scopes, hunting scopes, tactical stuff. You name it, they've got it. Head on over to rightonoptics.com and go check them out. We do not have a discount code for them. Frankly, all of the online distribution that is taking place for Right On Optics is going at a fantastic rate, below even that of which our discount code would have even gotten you at the time. So go check them out. They just rolled out a whole new lineup for 2020. I've already got 2 of their scopes from 2020, and I am really, really liking those right now. I've got the 1-8 and the 6-24. So yeah, rightonoptics.com. Head on over and check them out. Also follow them on Instagram and Facebook, Right On Optics. Can't miss them. They are out there. Let's see. We do have merch. Head on over to Teespring. We've got a link in the description below. We've got a couple pieces of swag that we're putting together. These are shirts that so far have been designed by me and also have come from ideas that Kent and I have put together from the show. One of our running gag lines here is, hashtag t-shirt idea for some of the funny shit that gets said on this podcast and even before we start going live. So head on over and check that out. Oh, head on over to yes, we've got merch, Tim. Head on over there. Like I said, the link is in the description, but we've got it on Teespring. Just search for Sling'N podcast and you'll see it. I've got a couple t-shirts, some mugs and stickers and stuff, but we've got more t-shirt designs coming. And by all means, and Kent's back, so I can quit rambling on like I have nothing else to talk about.
Sorry, the dryer was about ready to start making terrible, terrible noises.
No, you're cool. Just to catch you up, I just mentioned that we have merch, and it is on Teespring, and the link is down in the description as usual.
Yeah, we got merch. TJ's a good t-shirt designer, as it turns out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, try. Mm-hmm. It's really just clip art, or excuse me, it's word art from Windows 95.
Yup. Let's see. Tony asked about quality firearms training in New York, Brooklyn, New York. I don't know anybody specifically. Tim, if you do, that'd be awesome if you chime in. I'm not seeing. Oh, never mind. This dude's got sword fighting on his website, so he's out. All right.
I will cast lightning bolt with my level 50 phase.
Oh boy. That might be a black hole.
So Tim says Dave Jenkins in Rochester.
Oh, okay. See, there we go, Tim. Oh. Rochester, New York. David, no, don't read his goddamn address. Thank you for putting that up first, Google. Safeinrochester.com. There you go.
That's a solid website URL. I like that.
Safeinrochester.com. Founder and primary instructor. You're safe until you're not. I've always believed. Yes, this looks exactly like something that somebody legitimate would put up. Philosophy, self-defense info. Yeah, man. And if Tim says he's good, I say he's good.
Yeah, so, I was just about to shorten that up. I was like, dude, Tim's repping him. He's good to go. So
yeah, there you go. So, yeah, Dave Jenkins, Rochester, New York. I don't know how close Tony, poor Tony, trying to get from Brooklyn to Rochester right now is probably like trying to like time warp. But
all I see is that scene from like season 1 of The Walking Dead when he's going to Atlanta. And you've got all the dead cars on the outbound road.
Right.
Inbound, it's just going to be Tony on a horse.
Yeah. Yeah. He actually would look pretty good on a horse, too. He'd be all right with that.
He could rock the Marlboro Man look, huh?
Yeah. He'd be fine.
Oh, there you go. There's the compliment of the night, Tony. That's all you're getting, so get over it.
Yeah, that's all you get. So let's see. What else do we have going on?
We really got to quit being organized when we do shows, man.
Yeah,
this is taking way less time than usual.
We got to stop that. Oh, one other thing to keep in mind, please, 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 please support local businesses right now in the firearms community. Like, now is the time when your local FFL or whoever opens back up. I don't give a shit if you always order your ammo on grabcheapammo.com or pick your favorite website, but go find that local cat that's like maybe selling it for $1 or $2 more for, 100 rounds. Go buy ammo from him. Buy a case. Buy a mag. Do something. Support your local businesses, or else we're really not gonna be here anymore. This is,
dude. I'm gonna tell you what. One of the shining lights through this cloud of misery that is the COVID-19 pandemic is the random acts of kindness and awesomeness that I'm seeing coming from local businesses. So my tattoo artist here in Tennessee.
Did you get that thing on your butt fixed, by the way?
No. He did not do that. He did not do that one.
Oh, okay.
That was my half-ass tattoo. It's only on the one cheek. That was not Joe. But no, so my tattoo artist has in his shop went out and bought a bunch of Kroger gift cards, like a boatload of Kroger gift cards, and loaded them up and was going around and making sure that people that needed them, who might have been out of work, not getting any type of other compensation, had the means to go take care of themselves. I am not seeing that from any other big box store, big corporation, or anything like that. Now, granted, I'm not going to discredit the work that a lot of them have done. Some of the bigger plants, like we've got a GM plant here local to us in Tennessee, they've shut down production and started. They retooled their entire warehouse and manufacturing facility to make the respirators that a lot of the hospitals need. So kudos to them for that. But the local businesses are making impacts on such an individual level and such a local level that, I mean, truth be told, that kind of resonates a little bit more with me. I would expect a company that has the means of mass production and manufacturing to step up and do something like that. I would never expect a local business to do something as kind as what, you know, my tattoo artist has in his shop have been doing. So you supporting them ultimately gives back to the community in more ways than you can count. So take that for what it's worth.
Yeah. And also, this ain't the time for brash bravado bullshit. Okay. I don't need any gun owners like getting in a scuffle over toilet paper. Just don't. It's really not fucking worth it. It's really dumb.
Hey, so, I've got plenty of shirts from when I was in the military and overseas that don't have sleeves for that very reason.
Right. Yeah. I mean, get with your local chamber of commerce, says Tim. Get with your Rotary Club. If you're a believer, get with your church. Do something. If you're sitting at home right now, see this whole like I'm going to teach digital firearms classes comes from me being bored out of my fucking mind, right?
Yeah, like, it's pretty bad. We talk every day, and this guy's climbing the walls, folks.
Dude, I'm bored out of my mind. It turns out I really like my day job, kind of, sort of, sometimes. But it's the stuff that you miss that you don't have anymore. So like, do something. Find some way from your sphere of influence that you can control, that you can help people, whatever that may be. And if it's just keeping people laughing and keeping people joking and having a good time, that's fine. If it's calling up and checking on your friends and family, that's fine. If you're going to go to the grocery store for grandma, do that. Do whatever you got to do. But let's just be good to each other and take care of each other. The other thing I want to talk about within the gun community and all this craziness is, as funny as it might be, and I might even be a little guilty of this too, now is not the time to be making the, like, we're coming for your toilet paper jokes with, like, us and our night vision shit. And, it's just maybe a little bit uncouth. It's funnier than shit, but, like, there's, like, probably 2 or 3 people that see you post, like, with your rifle and it says, I'm coming for your toilet paper, and they might actually be taking you seriously. So let's not scare people too bad. But at the same time, if you're thinking of coming for my toilet paper, that would be a poor life choice, my friend.
Right? Would you say it was going to be a shitty situation?
I might. Dude, you are 2 for 2 on ass jokes.
Yeah, it's the dad jokes. I've been taking the ginkgo biloba since I'm getting older, and it's really helping my mental synapses.
Is that the lizard that sells insurance?
No, that's the Geico lizard. Anyway, leave it to you to suck the wind right out of my dad joke. Perfectly good dad joke. Oh, God damn it, Kent. Anyway, but yeah, no, look, folks, just to reiterate, Kent and I have stood here week after week and touted the awesomeness that is the gun community, that we are the nicest and most friendly group of people on the planet. We are not the murderous assholes that many people on the other side of the aisle paint us out to be.
Yep.
Don't fucking disappoint us and prove us wrong by being a dickhead at the local Kroger or Publix or Walmart because somebody else is grabbing the last roll of toilet paper.
Right. That's all.
Rise above and be bigger than that.
Yeah. Walk away. Just stop. Just don't go there. Other than that, let's talk about future stuff. So, the governor of Pennsylvania has just redefined essential life-sustaining businesses, and he has put FFLs and gun stores back on that list. I'm taking that as gun training is included, and therefore Green Mountain Defense is open for business and operational And yes, we can go out for a private one-on-one lesson at the range, COVID-19 compliant, sanitizer wipes, and de-lead wipes, and God only knows what else.
And outdoors,
right? Fresh air, sunshine, So we are able to do so. So please come out and take private lessons right now. If this shit continues into the, my next group class is scheduled for April, I will, within the coming week, make a decision on turning off registration for that and capping it at 8 as opposed to 16 participants, just so we don't have too many people in the same space. A lot of ranges, a lot of gun clubs, whoever else is for sure shutting some of this stuff down. I'm trying to keep it operational, but at the same time, I don't want to be all up in your business and you coughing on me and me coughing on you. It's just not smart. So a modified future plan based on safety, with the one caveat being that if you've been exposed to somebody with the cooties, or if I find out that I have or whatever, we're gonna have to knock that stuff off. And clearly, don't show up to anything if you're symptomatic. And if you think you could be symptomatic, stay home like they're telling you to.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty simple. It's really simple.
Yeah.
It's really simple. Common decency. Oh, and by the way, when October rolls back around and flu season starts, the same rules apply.
Yeah, they do. I'm going to steal from an internet meme or meme right now, but like, your grandparents were called to war and you're being called to sit on your couch.
Suck it up.
Suck it up. And yeah, dude, like, I might very well be out of a job, at least one of them. Like, this is bad for economics. Nobody's happy about this. And I'm not happy at all. As a matter of fact, TJ and I both are married to people who are essential and who are being forced to go out into public and deal with this stuff on a daily basis.
I just want to point out.
I just did it. I thought, I'm going to get slapped. I'm going to get slapped.
I just want to point out that both our spouses are essential.
Yeah.
You and I, tits on a boar hog, my friend.
Yeah, we are not essential, apparently. It's such a freaking role reversal that I'm in my basement. My wife's going out to win the bread. She comes home and lights up a cigar and pours herself some whiskey, and she's like, I don't want to talk about it. It's just
you better make that woman a sandwich. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because she's not even my wife, and I am afraid of her.
Yeah. But, just take care of yourselves, take care of kids, take care of your families. So we've got CCW Essentials coming up in Pine Grove, PA on April 25. And we've got at least one of those classes for the next 6 months until we get into the fall and we break the rifles out. Private training is available. As of this very moment, I'm not canceling any hosted classes. I haven't even brought it up. I haven't even called those dudes. Scott Jedlinski is still coming here with Modern Samurai Project. Tim Herron is still coming here with Tim Herron Shooting. And Ashton Ray is still coming here with his shotgun essentials or shotgun performance or 360 performance shotgun or whatever he calls that. I'm a terrible marketer because I forget the guy's class, but Ashton's still coming to teach shotgun shit. So we're not shutting any of that stuff down. All of those are operational in May. So as of this time, the way I figure it is we have a month to sort it out. If you are a student in one of those classes and for some reason some shit hits the fan, I will reaccommodate you. I will treat you fairly. We will find a way to work with each other. I'm not looking to steal anybody's money over no COVID-19. That's not how we roll here. But, if at all possible, unless the flights are grounded and there are National Guard troops on the roads, we will be still running those classes as long as the instructors, the students, and the facility feels that it is safe to do so. And if we, for whatever reason, just like any other time, by the way, if we don't, for some reason, feel it's safe to run a gun class, well, then, God damn it, we're not going to run a gun class because it's a gun class. So common sense must dictate. But, yeah, that's what we got going on. So bear with me. Please be patient. Please be please be patient with me, right? Be patient with every business you're dealing with right now because we don't know shit day to day. The governor could change his effing mind tomorrow, right? We have no idea what's happening. So nobody's trying to not get back to anybody. Nobody's trying to keep your money or keep your deposit or whatever like that. But God forbid, if something should happen or come up, we'll readjust as necessary. I'll be a good host, and I'll be a good business owner, and I'll do everything I can to help you. That's all I can say at this time. So if you're wondering, that's the scoop on that. Big shout out to Apache Solutions. Tim, thanks for being here. Apache Solutions Firearms Training is in North Carolina, and I would know his website if I was good.
We got to get him back on the show. Tim,
yeah, right?
Tim, shoot us an email, man. We need to talk. We need to get you guys back on the show.
Hang on. Google is Googling. www.apacheNC.com. And he is in Yadkinville, North Carolina. I might have had a stroke earlier. I'm wondering. I don't smell toast. He's in Yadkinville, North Carolina. You Southern people could say that shit. Dude, at Jedi's class that we were at, that one guy who said his name, I was like, bro, what's your name? He's like, man. I'm sorry?
His name was Ben.
He's like, what's wrong with you, boy? My name's Man. I'm sorry. What was that? Foghorn Leghorn? And then he was like shooting, and I was like, oh, fuck, this motherfucker can shoot. I better not make any more jokes. I'll just stand over here quietly.
Yeah. With that, also future endeavors, we do have Tim Herron coming on the podcast.
Yeah.
He will be here next week. So by all means, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when we're going live. I will post, and Kent will post updates and quote unquote advertisements, maymays, as Kent says, to keep you all abreast of that situation. But really looking forward to having Tim Herron on the show. Man is a phenomenal shooter, and really looking forward to what he has to bring to the table to talk about his training company.
Yeah, man. So, I'll be hosting Tim July the 11th, coming up here in Lewisburg, PA. And he is going to shoot us all into the ground and then teach us how to suck a little less.
Phrasing.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Jesus Christ,
phrasing. All right. Support the sources that support us, please. Right On Optics, Apache Solutions. Go to who else? Carrie Davis, Archangel Medical. Check out the merch store. Please follow us, y'all. Like, favorite, subscribe, share. He's Lit Singing Ginger. I'm Green Mountain Defense. Go find our social and give us some love. Unfortunately, likes and thumbs uppies and happies and smiley face are the currency in this new digital age. Nobody gives a shit if I know what I'm talking about if they've never heard of me. So, let's fix and change that. Let's help each other out. Get out, be good, stay safe, get training, and take care of each other. It's going to be a long couple more weeks, I think. But we love you, and we're thinking of you.
That's right. You heard it here, folks. Really appreciate everybody that participated in the chat. This is probably the most active chat session that we have had on the show. And frankly, we love it. We love having you guys and gals participate and throw us your questions. We love curating and asking and catering to your comments while we're having this broadcast. Really brings a lot of light and added value to the podcast, and we really appreciate you. So with that, if you're new, be sure to check us on your favorite podcast player, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, you name it, we're probably there. Just search Sling'N Lead Podcast, and we will come right up. Until we see each other again, though, take care of each other. God bless you all, and get out and shoot.
Bye, everybody.